Please don't break. £900 for that! Oh, that used to be Alcantara. Why is it crusty? We've just bought the highest mileage Mercedes A45 AMG that we could find in the UK. And today we're going to find out whether we made a big mistake or not. Okay, first things first, let's have a look at the wear and tear on the interior of this 121,000 mile Mercedes A45 AMG. Let's start with the driver's bolster because that's usually where you get the most wear on the seats. And I'm not gonna lie, for 121,000 miles, that is pretty mental. There's like a tiny little mark here, but I don't know if that's actually a mark. Oh yeah, it is a tiny mark, but there's some dirt here. But for 121,000 miles, these seats look amazing. And these are the like AMG sport seats. So they've got very aggressive bolsters. So people usually kind of get in and out of them and scrape away all this leather over the times they get in and out. The one thing that is rather disgusting though is this, well, Alcantara wheel. This used to be fluffy Alcantara, and we will get it back to that, so don't you worry. But look at that, that is so crusty. It's just, this is basically just oil and skin. Lots of human particles all over this wheel. It's certainly got the taxi miles on it. Then other touch points like the shifter and the armrest actually look pretty good. The armrest is just, you know, a little bit oily, bit of leather cleaner will sort that out. Same thing with the shifter, there's like a tiny little mark on it, but for over 100,000 miles, I think this is pretty good. I've seen far worse on cars with less than half the mileage, but what about the engine? Let's have a look at that. So apart from things like surface dirt down here, the rest of it looks pretty good. I can't see any oil leaks from the front of the engine or from the back, certainly from the top, but you'd have to be underneath it to really see. Anyway, I digress. Before we go through the cost of maintenance on this 121,000 mile A45 AMG, let's see whether Tobias Vetter built this engine properly or not and do the 30 to 70 sprint. This A45 AMG back in 2016, it came with a 2-litre inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 381 horsepower and 475 newton meters of torque. That power went to all 4 wheels via a Haldex all-wheel drive system, similar to what you'd see in Golf R's of the time. And it also came with a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. Obviously not the same one you'd get in the Golf R, but it does have launch control. So we are going to test the 0 to 60 later and see whether this slightly problematic launch control system can really get this thing off the line. But before we do that, let's do the 30 to 70. .30 to 70 then, we managed a time of just 4.14 seconds. And you might be thinking, oh, this car's starting to show its age because it's not as fast as a Golf R or even a BMW 435D. But this is actually the fastest time we've ever had out of a Mercedes A45. The second fastest was 4.18 and the third fastest was nearly 4.5 seconds. So it just goes to show that this car is all in good working order. The reason for the slower time though, considering this has got 381 horsepower, is because of the gearing. The gearing is just really not set up for that 30 to 70 sprint. If it was, it would be a lot quicker. So let's go through the service history and the cost of maintenance on this car. So to start off with servicing, this was actually on a service plan. So since 2018, which is when the guy bought it at 4,900 miles. It's had 8 services and that's £480 a year. So 8 services, £480 a year. So over the years that he's had it, he's spent £3,840 on just servicing it, which is, you know what, that's actually not too bad considering, you know, what this car is at the end of the day. It's not exactly a bog standard Ford Fiesta or Vauxhall Corsa. But then we get on to the other items, things that needed repairing. So one of which is the oil pressure regulation valve that you can see just at the top here. And that, it was only £41. That is not too bad, but the total cost was £922 to replace a £41 part. The reason for this is that this oil pressure regulation valve is at the back of the engine. So it required 8 hours of labour at £75 an hour plus VAT. Yeah, that's quite a lot. And then with that, they did an engine oil service, filter, sealant, antifreeze, so like a bog standard service, basically. And then the other part that it had was the thermostat housing. If you're a Golf R owner, you will be familiar with that. So the part for this is £116. Again, you think, it's not too bad. But it required 7 hours of labour to replace. 7 hours of labour! What are these mechanics doing? Well, working on these cars, I guess. And dealing with engineers' poor choices. So it came into a total of £789 to replace. So that's 922 plus 789. So far, we're sitting at £5,551 for 8 years of ownership. But there is more that has to be done on this car, one of which is a gearbox service every 40,000 miles. So you get the car with a fresh gearbox, obviously. So once you hit 40,000 miles, you get a service, then you hit 80,000 miles and you get a service. And now we've hit 120,000 miles, you get a service. So that's £800 every time you go into Mercedes to do that, which totals up to £2,400 of servicing just on your gearbox. And we've also had the Haldex system serviced, which is £200. That's a drop in the ocean compared to other costs that have been bestowed upon the previous owner of this lovely A45. So in total, we have come to £8,151. So you divide that over the 8 years that this guy has owned this vehicle, that is just over £1,000 a year just to maintain and live with this A45 before you've even paid for the finance or paid for the depreciation of the car. Do you think that's worth it? Let me know in the comments. Before we get on the road, let's ask the main man why exactly he bought a 120,000 mile AMG.
I have no idea, to be honest.
What?
It literally goes against everything that we are. But full Mercedes service history, last mature owners had it for 6 years and can't really fault it, to be honest. So we'll run with it and hope for the best. If it was half the mileage it is, I don't think anyone would be able to tell.
Anyway, I digress. Let's go and see if this car actually freaking works. Okay, starting around town then, because I want to see if there's any squeaks and rattles in this thing. Going over speed bumps, we're on the passive damper setup in this. I can't really hear anything as of yet. Couple of squeaks from the seat, but that is normal. These seats squeak from frickin' factory because they're so stiff. And to be honest, I'm not exactly the lightest guy in the world, so that probably doesn't help. But steering feels absolutely pin sharp, to be honest. Doesn't feel like it needs an alignment at all, probably because it's had one. The wheel though, yeah, it's not sticky, but it's not exactly pleasant to hold. It definitely needs cleaning. Panoramic roof doesn't squeak, which is weird, because pretty much every Mercedes that has a panoramic roof does squeak after about 20,000 miles of driving, and this one is squeak free. If anything, this is actually, so far at least, feels newer than A45s that I've driven that have done a lot less in mileage. I'm guessing where you buy this car matters. Geography does matter. Okay then, before we see what MPG this car will do, it's supposed to do 39 MPG. Let's just test how responsive this gearbox is in comfort mode. So, putting my foot down now. That was pretty good. It kind of downshifted 3 gears and then downshifted again. That was a bit weird, but it responds pretty well, to be fair, and it certainly gets up to speed nice and fast. Now then, once you're on the motorway, what's the A45 like? Well, the damping feels pretty nice, pretty soft, pretty compliant at faster speeds. The seats, I'd give them a solid 7 out of 10. They hold you in nicely and they're fairly comfortable, but obviously on a long journey they do feel fairly firm. They're not the most comfortable seats in the world. And sound deadening feels alright, you know. We are actually going to test that with a proper decibel reader in a moment, but before we do that, let's test our MPG. This is supposed to do 39 miles per gallon on the combined cycle, and I'm giving it basically the best possible scenario I can today by just driving on the motorway. I want to see above 40 from this thing, because I know I've tested these before and they never seem to do their claimed figures unless you're driving on a very flat, very unwindy day at exactly 56 miles an hour. So I want to see what MPG I can get out of this thing. Has that carbon build-up ruined the potential for fuel economy in this car? Well, let's find out. Well, this seems to be the car that just keeps on giving, because I can't believe I'm saying this. We've done more than the combined claim figure and managed over 40 miles per gallon. Well, by 0.3 of an MPG, but that is still more than 40 miles per gallon. And not only that, we did a sound test of this thing and we did 72.7 decibels. So basically identical to a Volkswagen Golf R. But now comes the real test, because I'm going to use my little rotary dial down here and get this thing into Sports Plus and then press this button down here and see what noises this A45 can make. Oh, every time I drive one of these things, the sound of it is just phenomenal. Right, brakes up first. Let's see what's going to happen when we slam on the anchors here. Oh yeah, AMG brakes just feel really nice. Huge calipers on this, especially for a small little car. It doesn't even need it, but they do just feel lovely. There's just so much meat on the bone, as it were. And in terms of handling, I mean, it feels a bit more sort of rear bias than a Golf R does. Well, there you go. It's definitely more rear bias than a Golf R. But it's the sound that is really just phenomenal. Look, let's slow down here. Get us in second gear and just... Oh, it's just those gear shifts, that crack on the upshift. Right, tunnel, so you know what we got to do. It's a better handling, better sounding Golf R, basically. It's just, if you want a slightly more exciting, more, well, younger, teenage Golf R, less respectful, this is basically what you buy. And it just goes to show, if you look after it, so far, nearly at the end of the review now, it works. But now we come to the part of the video where this car might die a very unhonourable death. The 0 to 60. This car is supposed to do 0 to 60 in, oh, nice sound, just 4.2 seconds. But after 120,000 miles, can this very unreliable launch control system really still work? There is only one way to find out. Let's do it. Okay, first things first, how do you actually get into launch control in the 2016 A45? It's not as simple as something like a Golf R, where you whack it in dynamic, turn the traction off, and then just plant your foot and go. This is a bit more intricate. So firstly, we have to change driving mode, same as a Golf R so far. Get the traction off, same as Golf R so far. Click OK. Now we need to make sure that all these numbers here aren't blue, because if they're blue it won't let you go into launch control mode. They need to be nice and warm. Everything needs to be well lubricated. Then you put your left foot hard down on the brake, pull both paddles together, it'll say race start, confirm with right paddle, decline with down, confirm it, and now it is ready. Yep, still feels adequately fast. But what did we do? Let's pull over and find out. Well, I'll be damned. We managed the exact time that Mercedes claim this A45 AMG can do 0 to 60 in, with a time of 4.19 seconds, which is pretty rapid if you ask me, especially considering this car's done 120,000 miles and it's still as fast as it was when it was new. Absolutely mental. This really is the car that keeps on giving, isn't it? But can it survive down a little B road like this? Over the lumps and bumps of a British B road, really? Throttle response is nice. It's quite a long pedal in this. Gearbox still feels lovely. Suspension feels lovely. Steering feels nice and sharp. Car sounds amazing. Brakes feel lovely and sharp. It is a monster. And can it still hit 60 before the corner? Let's do it. Yes, it can. What a machine. Oh, God, it sounds good. Sounds really good. It is literally just a more raucous Golf R. And the thing I love about that is the fact that it wants you to just rag it. The Golf R doesn't really egg you on as much as this does. This just wants to be an idiot. It loves being silly. Yeah, 121,000 miles. And I mean, this is one of the best ones I've driven. It just goes to show, if you look after your cars, it does make a huge, huge difference. You know, this car could have done 20,000 miles and I would be none the wiser. Genuinely, what a fantastic bit of kit. Oh, and the other thing I love is that you actually get a dedicated manual mode, which you don't get in the Golf R. That will upshift for you, whereas this will just hit a limiter. It gives you full control. I love that. But now I pose a question to you, because Paragon Cars is selling this thing for £12,000. And to me, that seems like, you know, £12,000 is a lot of money for anyone, really. But for a car that's done over 120,000 miles, would you part with 12 grand to buy this thing, knowing that it's been looked after? Or would you go for one with maybe part service history, but it's done 40,000 miles? Which one would you rather buy? One that's been looked after and done more miles, or one that hasn't necessarily been serviced as much as it should have been, but it's done a lot less miles? I'd be interested to know, so let me know in the comments. Anyway, as always, I hope you enjoy content like this. If you did, give us a like and why not subscribe. As not only can you see more content like this, you can of course see everything we have for sale, which, as I've just said, includes this actually surprisingly nice Mercedes A45 AMG. As usual, links will be down in the description below. If you want to check out the rest of our stock as well, links will be down there as well. Also, if you want to check out our 30 to 70 leaderboard, there is a link down in the description below as well for that. But anyway, I am now going to go and clean this steering wheel because it's rather disgusting. My name has been Tom, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers, everyone.